Welcome to our channel. Learn and become a success. Put people first. Personal relationships are the fertile soil from which all advancement, success, all achievement in real life begins. Ben Stein. The people you know, and who favorably know you, will do more to determine your success, happiness, and a level of achievement in life than any other single factor. No one achieves anything of consequence by himself or herself. In life, relationships are everything. My friend Charlie Jones says, "You will be in 5 years what you are today, except for the books you read and the people you meet." Dr. David McClelland, author of The Achieving Society, Van Nostrand, 1961, concluded after 25 years of research at Harvard that your choice of a reference group would have more to do with your success than anything else. McClelland interviewed graduates of the university, as well as those who had attended his intensive seminars on achievement in American life. He tracked these people for many years. Many of them took what they had learned and did wonderful things with it. They built profitable businesses and successful careers. However, many of the graduates failed to turn the information and ideas they had learned into later success. Why not? When he went back and surveyed them, he found that invariably they had returned to the same group of people they had been associated with before they had taken the advanced courses on achievement. As a result, they went back to the same old ways, the same old habits, the same old customs and manners of living. Because they were immersed in their old reference groups, nothing changed for them. Your reference group. Your reference group is defined as the people you consider yourself to be similar to. For example, if you belong to a particular church, the members of that church are part of your reference group. You consider yourself to be like them. If you belong to a political party, a bowling league, or a particular profession, people in those groups and organizations are parts of your reference group. You identify strongly with them. Over time, through a process of absorption, you will adopt their attitudes, mannerisms, ways of speaking, levels of aspiration, and even their style of dress. Your reference group will exert an inordinate influence on the kind of person you become. You will adjust your goals, behaviors, and thoughts to be consistent with what you feel they will approve of. You see this with teenagers all the time. Make new choices. All change in your outer world begins with a change in your inner world. Major changes in your inner world start happening when you change the people with whom you associate and identify. When you select a new reference or find yourself in a situation with different people, you unconsciously begin to change, almost despite yourself. This change process works quite quickly. In my speaking and travels, I have worked with countless men and women all over the country and throughout the world who have taken this advice to heart. They have deliberately changed their reference groups. They have begun associating with different people in different organizations. Very soon, they began to think differently about themselves, and their outer worlds began to change. As a man thinketh. The law of correspondence says that your outer world is a mirror of your inner world. It says in the Bible, "As a man thinketh, so is he." This means that as you see yourself and think about yourself in your conscious mind, your perception of the outer world changes and conforms to fit a picture consistent with it. This is the central message of this book. The most influential factors in your thinking and feeling will almost always be the other people in your life. Successful people are those who form the habit of associating with other positive, success-oriented people. Unsuccessful people, by default, end up associating with people who are not going anywhere with their lives. Both sets of people become more and more like the people with whom they most identify. Form a new reference group. If you want to change your thinking and your life, make a decision today to begin associating in every area of your life with other men and women whom you admire, respect, and look up to. Resolve to associate with people whom you enjoy and from whom you can learn. Work and socialize only with the kind of people that you want your children to be like when they grow up. When you set these kinds of standards for your interpersonal relationships, your whole life will begin to improve almost immediately. Develop your network. Your network is composed of the number of people you know, both directly and indirectly. These are people over whom you can exert some influence and who can in turn exert some influence over you. The most successful people in our society, at every level, are those who know the greatest number of other successful people. They organize their lives to meet these successful people by deliberate design, not by accident. And so can you. Many men and women, over time, move from one city to another, or from one field or industry to another. They start with few contacts, yet in no time at all, they become some of the best known and most respected people in their new field. Why does this happen? It is because they apply the principles of creative networking to their new lives. They immediately begin to form new, positive reference groups. They put into action a plan to develop as many good, high-quality relationships as possible within the shortest period. Building your network. Here is a great exercise for you. Over the next 6 months to a year, make a list in a notebook of the 100 most important people in your community. As you gather these names from the newspapers, from conversations, from news broadcasts, and your work as you move around, begin to think of how you could get to meet and know these people. Remember, the more people you know and think about you in a positive way, the more successful you will be in every area of your life. Once you have your list of 100 people, you should add to it regularly. Begin to network systematically with these people. Once you have a name, think of how you could communicate with that person. The simplest way of all is to write a letter expressing your opinion on something that the individual is involved in, or simply expressing your congratulations on the person's success for something recently achieved. Be patient when you start to expand your circle of contacts. Don't expect the person you wrote to call you back or to come to your door to meet with you. You are in the business of sowing seeds. Sometime down the road, you may see that the person has done something else, and you can write another letter. Over time, these little efforts will begin to bear fruit. Patience pays off. I write letters continually to people that I meet throughout the country. I always send a copy of a poem, sometimes a book, sometimes an audio program, or something that I feel the other person would enjoy. I have done this over the years for hundreds and perhaps thousands of people. Now, wherever I go, people come up to me and remind me that I wrote to them and sent them something, often years ago. A couple of years ago, I was in Washington, D.C. at a high-level conference, and a senior person from one of the largest organizations in the nation's capital came up to me and reminded me that I had written to him and sent him something 5 years before. He still remembered. After this meeting, over time, I got to know him very well. He has now introduced me to a variety of other powerful people. These new relationships have turned out to be very enjoyable and productive for me. They all started with me sitting down and writing a friendly letter. Advancing your career. Fully 85% of the best jobs in the United States are filled through contacts rather than through want ads or recruitment agencies. Someone needs a particular job to be filled and lets it be known within a network. The word goes out from person to person, and an individual who could never be found any other way often surfaces and is directed, as the result of personal connections, to a job for which the person is well suited. Many people have found that by broadening their contacts whenever they get a chance, they have changed their work lives profoundly. When they did change careers, they just happened to know the right person who was in the right place to make the right introduction, to get the right job that saved the individual years of hard work in reaching that same level of responsibility and income. Be a joiner. The major focus of networking developed by most high-achieving men and women and self-made millionaires is their regular involvement with groups, clubs, and associations that contain members who can be of assistance to them in their particular fields. In my own experience, moving from one city to another, I found that by joining certain clubs and organizations and getting involved, I was able to develop more friendships and make more progress in a couple of years than many people had made in 10 or 20 years. Make a decision right now to join one or two clubs or associations. The first association you should join should be the one for your profession or occupation. If you are in real estate, join the real estate board. If you are an entrepreneur, join an entrepreneurial association. If you are in sales, join a club like Sales and Marketing Executives International. When you join a professional association, don't make the mistake of merely attending the meetings and going home. This is what 80 to 90% of the members do. They may get some benefit from their membership with the organization, but nowhere near as much benefit as you can get by becoming more involved. Here is your strategy. When you join a club or organization, get the membership book and look at the various committees. Ask around and find out which of the committees is the most active and important to the organization. Sometimes it is the membership committee. Sometimes it is the government relations committee. Sometimes it is the education committee or the fundraising committee. But whatever it is, find out what committee seems to have the greatest impact on the health and growth of the organization, and then volunteer to serve on that committee. There will almost always be an opening for someone willing to help. Donate your time. When you attend meetings of that committee, develop the habit of raising your hand. Volunteer for assignments. Volunteer to write things. Volunteer to do work that needs to be done. The rule is this: in every organization, fewer than 10% of the people do most of the work. On any committee, fewer than 20% of the people do more than 80% of the work on that committee. Your goal is to be among that top 10 to 20%. The most important committees attract the best and most important people in the association. These are the kinds of people that you want as part of your reference group. These are the kinds of people that you want to form relationships with. These are the kinds of people whose names you want for your Rolodex and who you want to be a part of your professional network. Performing for your peers. One of the great advantages of serving voluntarily on a committee for your association is that you get an opportunity to perform in front of your peers, but without ever attempting to impress them or to get them to give you anything or do anything for you. Every time you accept a responsibility and fulfill it completely, they make a silent note of it. They may not say anything aside from an occasional thanks or congratulations, but they are making mental notes, which will serve you in good stead later on. Learn to speak on your feet. If you have any fears about public speaking, you should make a plan right now to get over them. Your ability to make a presentation to a small group or to stand up and give a talk or chair a meeting for a larger group can do more to bring you to the attention of people who can help you than almost any other thing you can do. Fortunately, public speaking is a skill you can learn with practice. I have urged people over the years to take a Dale Carnegie course or to join Toastmasters International. They are both open to everyone and available everywhere. When you sign up or join one of these fine organizations, leaders will train you thoroughly in how to speak on your feet. They will teach you how to design a talk, with a beginning, a middle, and an end. They will show you how to speak in a variety of different situations. And the better you get at speaking, by the law of attraction, the more you will attract people and opportunities into your life to speak to more and larger groups. Look for ways to put in. Here's something very important that I learned. The great majority of people, being selfish, are always thinking of how they can personally and immediately gain from any interaction that they have with other people. But this is not for you. Instead, your job is to look for ways to put in. Your goal must be to look for ways to contribute. This seems to be the strategy used by many of the top people. Over the years, I have worked with many wealthy men and women. I will never forget a billionaire turning to me at the end of a meeting and privately asking me, "Is there anything that I can do for you?" Later, another man, worth more than $500 million, asked me the same question, "Is there any way that I can help you?" When I went to work for a man worth over $800 million, in our second or third meeting, he asked me if there was anything that he could do in his position to help me in my personal life. By that simple gesture, even though I could think of nothing, he earned my lifelong loyalty. Over the years, I have observed that many of the most powerful men and women at every level of society got there by continually looking for ways to help other people, living the law. Here is one of the greatest discoveries of the ages. The more you give of yourself without expectation of return, the more that will come to you from the most unexpected sources. Most people think that if they do something good or helpful for a person or group, their rewards should come back directly from that person or group. But this is not the way the universe works. When you do something nice for someone else, you activate the law of attraction. Because it is a law, you never have to worry about your reward. As long as you continue to sow goodness, the universe will take care of the reaping. Your good will usually come to you from a completely unexpected source and at a completely unexpected time. All you have to do is be sure that you are continually putting in. The getting out will take care of itself. Ways. The best people. As a professional speaker, I work with groups and associations all over the country. Without fail, the best and most talented people in every association are the ones who attend almost every meeting. The top people are the ones who always take the time and make the sacrifice to be there. They are the ones who always sit on the committees and volunteer to help in any way possible. And I have noticed an interesting phenomenon. Each year, one member of the association will be elected to be the national president. As the president, he or she will have to spend as much as half of his or her time traveling around the country voluntarily, without pay, on association business. You would think that this would cut into the person's ability to make a living, but it seems that exactly the opposite happens. All the association presidents I've spoken to found that they made more money, did better in their careers, and made more progress in their field in the year that they took off to work for the association than in any other year of their work lives. The more you put in, without expectation of reward, the more you get back from the most unexpected sources. And you are in complete control of what you put in. The universe will take care of the rest. Keep a record. Harvey Mackay, in his audio program, How to Build a Network of Power Relationships, says that the most important word not in the dictionary, at that time, is the word Rolodex. He claims that if your Rolodex is big enough, you are never more than 2 phone calls away from anyone in the country. Harvey Mackay has a Rolodex with more than 4,000 names that he has gathered over the years. He has found that at least one of those people in his Rolodex has direct access to virtually any other person in the country with whom he wants to communicate, including the President of the United States. Your Mastermind Alliance. Napoleon Hill, after decades of studying the richest men in America, concluded that the formation of a mastermind network was an important step to great wealth. It was the creation or joining of a mastermind group that enabled countless men and women to go from poverty and obscurity to success and affluence. The core of your network of contacts, even before you begin to go outside to join groups and organizations, should therefore be your mastermind network. This is a small group of 4 or 5 people with whom you meet and talk regularly. Getting together regularly, at least once per week or even more often, with other people who think as you do, is the key to the success of a mastermind group. Don't worry about being self-serving in these relationships. Include in your mastermind only people you can help and who can help you. Take the initiative. You begin the formation of a mastermind group by approaching one or two people you like and admire, and who seem to have the same positive attitude you do. They may be in your field or another field. They may be younger or older than you, of the same gender or not. It doesn't matter as long as you have good chemistry. See, the most important qualifications are that they have positive mental attitudes and are generally optimistic about themselves and their lives. They should have goals of their own that they are working on each day. They should be open-minded and curious. They should believe in personal development and already read books, listen to audio programs, and attend courses and seminars. Loose or structured. When you get together with members of your mastermind group, you can have an agenda or no agenda. Why? Our meetings can be structured or unstructured. You can talk about general subjects or specific topics. You may talk about your own business or theirs. It doesn't matter. The very activity of spending time around other positive people energizes you, makes you more creative, and makes you feel more enthusiastic about whatever you are doing. An important element of your mastermind group is the amount of laughter that you experience together. This is the key measure of the quality of any of your relationships. People who laugh a lot together like each other more. They are usually more helpful and supportive of each other. The people you enjoy the most in life will always be the people with whom you laugh and joke the most. Two people together. The most important mastermind group that you ever form is with your spouse or partner. A husband and wife together, or a couple, can be the most powerful mastermind of all. When two people are completely attuned to each other and completely supportive of each other's hopes and dreams, they form a powerful combination that enables each of them to accomplish far more than they could achieve alone. People who are in an excellent relationship with the person they describe as their best friend are some of the happiest, most successful, and most fulfilled people in our society. Two people together can create